Hello students, greetings from Sri Vidyaniketan Public School. Welcome to online class for grade 6 Biology for Unit 2. Make sure you have all the books that are required for the class. So students, in today's class we shall revise about getting to know plants. So when we talk about plants, they are basically classified either as herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers or climbers. So let us look at when we classify them as herbs, shrubs, trees or climbers and creepers. So when a plant is there and it is having a green and a tender stem, so basically it will mostly will not have the stem. So this kind of plants they are classified as herbs. So example can be what? Yes, rice, paddy rice and all. So paddy plant can be classified as a example for herbs or grass, anything you can say for that matter. Now the second one is shrubs. So shrubs are basically nothing but they are having branches. So their leaves or the stems will arise from a branch. So you will have a branch and from there the stems will arise. So these kind of plants are called as shrubs. So remember students, the stem will be hard but it is not very thick. It will be hard, it will provide a good support system but it is not very thick. So example can be your plants like garden plants like rose plants and all. The next one you have is trees. Remember trees are very tall and they have a hard and thick stem. So you have this thick and hard stem like and from these stems on the top of the stems you have branches which will be arising from the upper part of the stem. So these are called as trees. Examples can be what? Yes, mango trees, banyan tree, peepal tree, anything you can say for example. And then the next category you have is creepers and climbers. So these are completely little different to these three types of plants because these they will have the stem but this stem is very thin, so they are unable to the stem is very thin, so that's why they do not get a proper support system. So these plants will either they will grow by lying on the ground or they will either they will grow upright by taking the support of some other external support. So those plants which are growing on the ground by laying on the ground, so these plants will be calling as creepers, and those plants which will grow by taking the support of some other by taking some other support, for them we will be calling as climbers because they will be climbing but with the support. So examples of creepers can we can say like pumpkin plants and all which usually grow on the soil or on the ground, and then climbers can example you can say is grapes trees and all, grape plant and all. So with this we finished how, so basically plants are classified as herb, shrubs, trees and creepers and climbers. So let us look at the plant now. We will look in depth about the different parts of the plant. The first part that we are looking at is the stem. So what is the stem will contain? Stem will contain leaves, it will contain buds, it will contain flowers, fruits, etc. So the main purpose or the main function of the stem is that it will it will help in taking the water from the roots, and when the roots will absorb the water from the soil, the stem will help in transporting the water to different parts of the plant, or otherwise the plants will prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. So this food that is prepared in the leaves, from the leaves it will transport to different parts of the plant. So this is the main function of the stem. And remember students, stem means we all know that stem is something which is growing above the ground, but no. In examples like potatoes, yams, ginger, onion and all, though they are present in the soil, they are not present on top of the soil, but they are growing inside the soil, but they are actually the stem and they store food within them. So we tend to get confused and we tend to classify them as part of the root. So remember student, it is not the part of the root but it is part of the stem. Now, after knowing what is stem, what does it contain, let us look at the functions. So, the main purpose of the stem is to hold this in a particular position. So, it will hold the plant in a particular position, and it also helps in spreading out the plant or spreading out the leaves, so that when the leaves are spreaded, what will happen? It will help in entrapping, or it will help in trapping good source of sunlight, so that with the sunlight what the plants will prepare? Yes, they will prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis. So as I told you, it contains flower, birds, leaves and fruits. So all these are also actually the function of the stem only, because it is helping in bearing this. And then the next function, as I told you, is that it conducts water and minerals from the root to the leaves, and similarly it will take the food that is prepared from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. And then you have green plants, like it will have chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll can carry out the photosynthesis. So this is another function of the stem. So after knowing the functions of stem, let us look at little modification. So when I'm talking about stems, like I previously gave one example, like when you see in potato, onions and all, they do not look the same kind of stem which we find it in a normal garden or normal surrounding. So there are different verifications for the stem. So you do not have a stem like a particular size or a shape. There are different modifications also done. So let us see why these modifications are done and what kind of modifications we can find for the stem. So the first one is for storage of water. So in plants like cactus and different plants, you have the stem which is kind of swollen up. It will get swollen up. Why it will get swollen up is because to store water inside them. Okay, so this water, and so that whenever the plant requires water for photosynthesis, this water will be taken out from the stem and then they will utilize for photosynthesis. Second one is for protection. So if mostly what will happen is that you, for protection, we have seen thorns in bougainvillea, or maybe example you can say is prickle. You can see in the screen that on the left hand side you can see a rose stem, and from the stem you can see that there are prickles. So prickles are like thorn things, you can say. They will prick whenever you tend to touch them, they will prick. So why these prickles are important? Why these prickles are important for the plant? Because they help in protection. So animals and all, they tend to come and eat them up. So prickles will basically help them to protect the plant from being eaten from the by the plants, animals. And then the third modification you have for the support. So as I previously told you, like for climbers like grapes and all, and for some flowers, what will happen is that they have very weak stem and the very thin stem, so they have to climb on something. They will take help of something. So how they will take on help of something? So here you can see on the screen that you have tendrils. So tendrils are nothing but they are a kind of a stem which is modified. So these tendrils, you have seen most of the times in your surrounding also, that these tendrils will tend to get attached to the external support. They will take support of something which is available nearby them, and then they will help the plant to climb. Okay, and it will also help the plant to grow very well. So third one was for support, and the last one is for storage of food. So in plants like potato, onion, ginger and all, the stems will be helping modify to store the food inside them. So this is the modification of stems. So now let us look at the different part of the plant, that is the leaf. Leaf is very important part of the plant, because leaf, we know that they have various shapes, sizes and other structures. So when I'm talking about leaves, I want you to focus on two very important concepts. So these are new concepts, so I hope you will keep them in mind. So the first one is veins. Veins are nothing but they are thread-like structure in the leaf forming a network. I will show you the picture of veins. So basically, So when we talk about veins, veins are nothing but you have when you see a leaf, you have different thread-like structure which you can see on the leaf. That is called as, those are called as veins. So based on how the veins are arranged on the leaf or the pattern of the veins and the veinlets on the leaf, that pattern is nothing but that pattern term that is used is venation. So veins are the thread-like structure, and based on how the pattern is there of the veins, it is called as venation. So I'll show you the picture so that you understand. Here you can see a leaf. So these thread-like structure which you find it on the leaf, these are called as veins, and how it is arranged on the leaf, that is called as venation. So now let us look at the different parts of the leaf again. We have a midrib. Midrib is nothing but, I want you to focus on the picture here. So midrib is nothing but that this is the thick vein which is present in the middle of the leaf. Mostly most of the plants will have this thick vein which is going from one end to the other end. So this is called as your midrib. And then from the midrib, based on how your veins are arranged, there are two types of venation. One is reticulate and the other one is parallel. So reticulate means nothing but in the reticulate you have the main midrib, and from the midrib you have different veins which are branching out, and from the midrib the different veins which are branching out, they will form like branches or they will form like a network. So they have, if the venation is in net like appearance on both the sides of the midrib, it is called as reticulate. Example, people. So you have like midrib is there, and from the midrib you have different, both the sides you have different veins which are coming out. And when you say parallel, parallel means in the leaves such as grasses and all, you have veins and veinlets which are going parallel to each other. So you have different veins which are going parallel to each other. So that type of venation is called as parallel. Okay, so you have two types. One is reticulate and one is parallel. Examples of parallel can be what? Grass. And then you have node. Node is the place where, suppose this is your stem, this is your stem and this is your leaf. So the place where your stem and leaf is connected, so this area will be called as the node. And internode is nothing but the stem between two nodes. One node will be here, suppose, and there is one more node over here. So this area of the plant, this area you can see, this is another stem, this is the main stem, this is one leaf, this is another leaf. So this is called as the internode. I'll show you the picture so that you can understand it better. So I want you to focus on the left hand side first. You have node here. So node means what? This is a stem, you can see this is the main stem and this is the leaf which is coming out, branching out. So this area where the leaf is attached to the stem, so this place is called as node. And internode means when the part of the stem between the two leaves. So this is one leaf, this is another leaf. So this part of the stem, this is called as internode. And birds, auxiliary birds, birds means the before the flower that is coming out. So and then venation I told you. So venation is two types, reticulate and parallel. Reticulate means I have told you that from the midrib you have different veins which are branching out. So they are not basically in the form of parallel. But whereas you see here in the parallel venation, there are different veins which are going parallel to each other. Okay, so you can spot the difference here. They are very parallel, and here they are not at all parallel. So this is the difference between both the venation. So after knowing different parts and types of venation, let us look at the function. So we know, we have already learned the function of the leaves, that basically the function of the leaves, what they will contain the chlorophyll, they will contain the green color pigment, that is chlorophyll. And chlorophyll along with the sunlight from the sun, it will trap the sunlight, and by using carbon dioxide from the environment and water which is transported by with the help of roots from the soil, it will help in producing or making of food and oxygen. So this we know that leaves is mainly helping, because leaves are the places where your photosynthesis of food making of the food is taking place. So this is the first important function, and the next one is it is helping in cooling of the leaves. Just like how our body is cooled by sweating up. When we sweat, the water is released, and then how it is cooling us. Likewise, even for the leaves, it is helping. Leaves also help in cooling of the plant. So there is a term that is transpiration. So what will happen in transpiration? More water is pulled upwards from the roots to compare. So when the water is released, or water is used for photosynthesis function, and sometimes water is released, evaporation and all takes place. So the transpiration, what will happen? The water is pulled from the upwards, and this will bring what along with the water. What it will bring? It will bring important nutrients from the soil which are required by the leaf. So what will happen? Transpiration helps in transport of nutrients within the plants. So transpiration is not only helping in bringing water, but it is also helping transport of nutrients. So when transpiration is taking place, nutrients also are able to move from different parts of the plant. Next one we have, after learning about leaves and stem, let us look at the next part, which is roots. We already know that roots are the underground parts of the leaf. So what will happen? They will they will take the water from the soil, and then they will transport through the stem to the leaves for photosynthesis. So apart from that function, they help in holding the soil firmly to keep the plant upright. So they will hold the soil together so that the plant can stay upright. And some roots also help in storing food, and they become plump, means swollen up kind of. So when we talk about roots, again there are two types. So remember students, we have taproot and we have fibrous root. Okay, in order not to get confused, keep in mind when we talk about taproot, just keep in mind the reticulate venation. So in reticulate venation, what will happen? I want you to focus on the picture and imagine in your mind what will happen. Here also you can see in the taproot is that you have the main root, and from the main root you have different small roots which will be branching out. So in reticulate venation also what will happen? You have the mid vein, okay, mid rib, and from where the main vein, and from the vein you have different veins which are branching out. So it is somewhat same with the taproot also, right? Because you have the main root, and from the main root you have different small roots which are branching out. So, and whereas in fibrous root what will happen? There are different roots. There is no one particular main root. There are different roots which are branching out from the plant. So that is why, so this is very important concept you have to keep in mind, that the plants which are having reticulate venation, so that's why I told you to connect with that, because the plants which will have reticulate venation, they will have tap roots, and plants which have parallel venation, they will have fibrous roots. So keep in mind students. So here you can see that here there is a main root, here main root, main root, main root, and from here branches coming. But whereas in here you have different roots which are coming out. So there is no, can you see here main root over here? No, there are all the roots which are approximately similar to each other. So after knowing what are the different types of roots, let us look at the functions very quickly. The first one is anchoring the plants. Anchoring the plants means it is helping in the plant is able to stand or grow upright by with the help of roots. So the roots will attach to the soil so that it will not fall off. Okay, and the second one is absorption of water and nutrients from the soil. So what will happen? The plants will require water for photosynthesis. So we will water the plants where? We will water the plants to the ground. So from the ground, who will help in taking out the water? The roots will help in absorbing the water, and then this will transport to the stem, and then stem will transport to the leaves. And then you have like desert plants, which have desert plants will have kind of longer roots as compared to the garden plants. Why? Because in the deserts we know that there is availability of water is very less. Okay, so they have to get water. So we know that underground there is, and we know that underground there is water. So what will happen, these roots will tend to penetrate, they will go inside the inside the soil underground, so that from the underground they can take the water and then they can transport to the plant or to the stem for photosynthesis. And the next function is preventing soil erosion. So what will happen, like if the soil is not close to there is we have so much of natural calamities, so much of wind, different calamities which is taking place like floods and all. So the roots will help in holding, the roots will, what will happen, the roots will hold the soil together. So when the soil is hold, it is held together, what will happen, when wind or any rain is coming, the soil will not get vanished or it will not get washed off. So that is another function of roots. And then the next one, the last function is sometimes roots are modified to perform various functions like reproduction, nutrition, etc. So let us look at the function, the modified function of the roots. So here you can see the 4 different parts. I want you to focus on the screen very carefully now. So here in the first one you have roots, like you have the carrot, and from the carrot you can see the roots. So in this first part, what we can say that it is helping for storage of food. So inside the carrots and all, you have different food that is present, different nutrients that are present, and these nutrients are helping us and they are acting as a food source for humans also. So first one is storage of food. The second one you can see is for multiplication. For multiplication means for growing. Sometimes what we do is suppose flower plants, dahlia and all, we will take the plant, we will from the roots, like here you can see Dahlia plant is a flower plant, and you can search on Google if you don't know about it. And you have the roots, it will form kind of like this. So when you, if you want the plant to, if you want to grow this plant, what you will do is cut one part of the root, one part of, like from here you will cut it, and you will, then it will help in making two plants, and then again you put them in the soil, again they will grow as plants. So that, likewise they help in multiplication, or they helping multiplication of different same kind of plant but for different types. And then third one function you can see is in the here extreme corner, it is helping in for nutrition. So some plants are not able to get nutrition, so they will have these roots. You can see here, remember students, modification, some modification are in the soil and some modification are above the soil. Okay, so here this example is above the soil. So here you have specialized roots like called as parasitic roots. What these parasitic roots will go, and some plants you see that on, they will grow on that big banyan trees and all, they will grow over there, and these roots will surround, they will these roots will grow on the host, like you see some in the forest, deep forest, you see on mushrooms or dead plants and all, they will grow on that. After when they are grown over there, they help in as they help in taking out the food from the host. And the last one you have is for climbing. So in order for the plants to climb and all, they want a proper support. So we have these plants which will have climbing roots, so that those climbing roots which actually help in holding on, catching hold of the support system, so that the plants can grow very well. And here I think I've forgotten to mention you, for example, like in extra banyan tree and all, for extra support, you see that banyan tree, you see that branch, like kind of branches, but they are not branches, but they are modification of roots only, which will grow so that it can give extra support to the stem. So you remember when you were a child, you used to use it as a swing and all. So this is a modification of root. After knowing about roots, let us look at the next one, that is the flower. So flower is nothing but it is the most attractive part of the plant, and from where you have your fruits and seeds which are being produced. Okay, so now you can read this. I'll explain you very shortly in the picture here. When you look at the picture, you will understand much better. So this is, if you remove like a hibiscus or China rose flower, you will be able to differentiate it like this. So these are the different parts of the plant, and I want you to focus on the right hand side here. So first part is sepal. Sepal mostly it's the outer part. When you have a flower, it is not bloomed. When it is in the form of bud, the sepals will be holding. So sepals are mostly green in color. They will hold the bud and it will protect the bud. When the bud is growing, trying to grow into the flower, the sepals will help in protecting the bud. And the next one you have is, you have male reproductive part and female reproductive part. So now let us look at the male one first. So here you can see male, it will have the stamen. We altogether we will call it as a stamen. So you here in this flower, how many stamens you can see? You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 stamens. So when we divide the stamen, it has two parts. First one is anther. So this bulging part is called as anther, and the thin part which is connecting the anther to the flower, this is called as the filament. So stamen is the male reproductive part, and then you have female reproductive part. So female reproductive part is this one. Okay, so female reproductive part, you again have three parts. First one is stigma. The upper part is stigma, and the tube-like structure is called as style, and then you have inside part. This pink color part is inside, which actually can't see. Only when you plug the plant you can see this part. So this is the ovary part. So ovary, this pink color is ovary, and again this green color small thing you can see, these are ovules. And here your pollen grains will come inside, and then you have reproduction, which is reproduction, fertilization takes place, and that's how you get a new seed or fruit that is formed. And then the last part is that petals. We already know petals are of different shapes and different colors. So with this we finished with the different parts of the flower. So I hope students you have understood the chapter. Now I request you to kindly attend your worksheet based on what you have learned today. And if any queries, please feel free to clear your doubts. Thank you.